think personally for me, I think it's sort of, we had amazing like childhood from 0 to 10, 12, 13, and obviously with our mum passing, it was a massive shock. It was a shock. It was terrible. It was tragedy. I think from then you're not a bit more wary, but you have a different feel for life, if that makes sense, for a lot of it. And I think
you grow up a little quicker, don't you?
Yeah. Perhaps like more you should have. But I think in terms of like from our dad and how he, after our mum died and what he did, I think that's why personally he's our hero, because what he had. I think he had to deal with everything when my mum died, and he had no one over here to sort of help him. He did, like, he had people to help him, but he had no family of his own to sort of to help him, if that makes sense. Yeah. So
it kind of, like you said, gives you a perspective on life, doesn't it?
You appreciate everything way more after that, don't you?
Yeah. And that's a great saying.
So I was 13 at the time, and I don't think I've probably not gotten over it, but worked through it until the last 6 months, 6 to 8 months, because I think we weren't pushed into school quickly, but my dad thought that if we get into routine, we'll sort of get back into like living life, if that makes sense. And I didn't really speak to anyone, just sort of went back to school and then got on with it. And yeah, I think it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah,
and that wasn't any fault of dad. I think it was just quite a tough subject at the time. Really tough. I didn't think he wanted us. I think, if he wanted us to, I think, work through it, it would have been tough for all of us, if I'm honest.
I've only now started to feel comfortable talking about it openly, like the last year or so. Whereas before, I only tell like close people about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've just, I don't know, I felt a little bit uncomfortable, but I still wanted to burden anyone with it.
I mean, it's so hard because we were so young.
Yeah, I wish there was help that there is now, and more people openly, like that, people that are openly willing to talk about things. At the time, so I was 13, Josh, you were 14, Joel
8.
8. Yeah,
but I've got to say though, to be fair to like, Mum's family, like we would go, like everyone would have us. So like we would go to my Uncle Beanie's and Auntie Debbie's on a Tuesday. We would go to our nan. Pretty much became like our mum, if you know what I mean. So like she was down every day. We were up there.
Auntie Judith, Frank, and
yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't be probably here if it weren't for those two for helping me out numerous times.
It's tough when you're young, isn't it? Because
definitely,
you got so many things going on. Like I had my GCSEs coming up. You still want to fit into school. Suddenly, you've had that massive, shock in your life where, your mum's been taken from you and it's the talk of the town. It's tough, but if Dad didn't treat us the way he treated us, then I don't think we would be where we are today.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we went through with Mum, it's different, but it's like a massive thing in your life. It makes you ready for something else, if that makes sense. And we'll like dealt with it different. But then I think it's all our job to make our mum's her legacy and for it to last and it to keep going. She's in our kids, all of us every day. So that's what we're doing.
Like with everything with Dad, it's just like roll your sleeves up and get to work, innit? Like get on with it. Because he went to work, didn't he? He went to work straight away, pretty much. So he was out. He used to work on the road, so he was out by like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. So he was working so much just to provide for us, And he made us some dodgy packed lunches.
I got banned. I got banned from primary school for packed lunches. It was that big.
the cake Tupperware that's like this big.
Yeah.
So we had 3 of them, so it couldn't fit in our lunch. It couldn't fit in our school bags. They were filled with like chicken wings, chicken, pork.
People will have one chocolate bar. I'd have a pack of 20.
With Dad, he had Mum's family, he had friends, but I think even at the time, it's 2005, that he was by himself. with three young boys, and I'd hate to think what he thought and what he went through personally. I think that still hurts me a lot to think what he was thinking then, because I don't think he asked for help at all.
No, it's not in his nature, is it? And I don't think it's in our nature either. But I find admiration in that, like to be dealt such a tough hand, but then still try and make our childhood as like great as possible.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, of course.
Oh, definitely. Because he didn't have like one bad day after.
No.
He was never down in the dumps at all. Like, No, that's what I mean. Like, so hard for him to always like show up, if not.
When Dad went through his situation, when he got paralysed, it was like he didn't want anyone like worrying over him, did he?
No, not at all. He was almost like
he was on holiday, Josh?
He was on holiday.
He was away, and he was like, don't need to tell.
Because when it first happened, he got moved, so he fell ill, and then he was in the intensive care in Plymouth.
Then from Derriford,
from Derriford. So then from then he went to Salisbury, which is the neck unit, spinal unit. So, and at the time we were all over the place again. So we were always constantly in Salisbury, and where we're from in Cornwall. He's a massive big Fijian rugby player. And I think for things like small things that I absolutely loved is when he went out in public in a wheelchair for the first few times. He was showing the world that it didn't matter. He was still in, if that makes sense. And like
phase him. No one treated him any different either.
No. Yeah. And I think just like such small things like that, for to sort of go through what he went through, and then to sort of with our mum, and to sort of have what he had on himself. And then if you meet him now, you'd be like, what a man. What a man.
You wouldn't think he's been through what he's been through.
He's had a lot of people, a lot of family and friends that have helped. Uncle Dino's been like his sidekick.
Yeah. Stack.
Constantly helping.
Uncle Nick.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's just having people there all the time that you can just talk to. It doesn't have to be about the problem, but it's just being able to just share things.
Like when you have them people around you, I feel you feel a bit secure and safer, don't you? And then you do then open up to them things.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just to try and make him proud every day. I think that's all we try and do. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. He takes a lot of pride in just watching our games on the weekend. Doesn't he? That's his life at the minute is waiting for that Sunday to come so that he can watch us play, and then abuse us on the Sunday and tell us how bad we all played.
Like going back now to when I was 13, just 14, Joel 8. I think if we were helped in the right direction to talk to someone, to talk to each other, I don't think we never want to talk to each other because we were so scared of like bringing it up again, putting it on each other and making each other sad and upset. But I think for me personally, so having a chat with someone that didn't know the situation, doesn't know us, is helped massively. And it makes you see the whole situation from a different angle. It makes you appreciate that just so much different stuff, if that makes sense. And I think I approach it now that it's my mum, she's always been my mum, and I absolutely love her with everything. So and whatever happened, or whatever went on, nothing will ever like stop that from to take that away, if that makes sense. But I just think near the time, I think if we had a bit more help and guidance to let our emotions out of it and talk, it would have helped.
I wish that there was more support for families that have gone through suicide, and not just the people that are thinking about doing suicide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wish there was more support around that, as in like the people it affects as well. Because obviously like there was us three when we were kids, like there wasn't that much support for us.
No. I think there's people in Cornwall called the Invictus Trust, which they're doing an unbelievable work in Cornwall, fighting for mental health, for a lot more support and work around it. So
we definitely we had support, but we just didn't have professional help like children's counselling, did we?
Nothing like that.
That was probably the main thing where I think we definitely had support because we had people who looked after us and made sure that we were okay. But it's just like Sam said, we didn't have anyone that like specialised in dealing with suicide, and especially being your mum as well, when it's someone so integral to your childhood and your life. I wish that there was more when we were kids for families, and I hope there is now, because it is brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember, but she always used to say, if I die, can you play this song at my funeral? I don't know if you remember that, but it was always something she used to say, and I was like, oh, like whatever, because just what you would do, wouldn't you? Yeah. You would bat it off. But like you said, if you could tell signs of someone going through mental health, because we didn't know anything about mental health then. So like you say, it's about educating people on signs and just spotting signs early to prevent a tragedy happening. Because if we knew any signs, then we would definitely have sought help.
I think, but like from then, we're a lot younger, and now we've gone through it. I think we need to make sure that if we see something in our friends or each other, or we're on the phone, or we're helping out straight away. I think that's another massive thing. I think a lot of people, you see that everyone's going through through something. So if you can be there for one person, it's going to help.